information over time would be studied by the Gnostics. Even in more time, much later, you have then the Coptic Christians, and then you also have the councils that were formed. Like, for one is the Council of Nicaea, who then started analyzing a lot of these copied and recopied and recopied and recopied and recopied texts, and started analyzing which ones to keep and which ones to keep out, which ones to keep. They were thinking, let's make this into an actual canonized book. We'll take this and put that in here. We'll take this one. No, that talks about aliens. We don't want the Book of Enoch in here because he's talking about aliens. Let's leave that one out. We don't want the Myth of Adapa in here because he's talking about aliens. We don't want that in here. That's the Book of Adam. We don't want that in here. So you have all these apocrypha texts that were kept out, right? And the Council of Nicaea coordinate and create this hodgepodge of a book based on hand-picked content, curated content that they wanted that would allow them to still maintain control over the people, over the masses of people. And that's how you get to the canonized book today that the majority of religious people read around the world, right? It's pretty crazy how in the 21st century, we're still running around believing in that stuff without doing any research about it, and still believing that there's a magic sky daddy with a magic wand in the sky waving it at you when you want somebody to win your basketball game and you want to win a war. You people, military soldiers actually pray to defeat their enemies in war. You think that there's a universal creator that can create universes, is going to come down into this dimension and grant you a magic wish that you would kill another person. And people actually believe this is true. They believe that this is like, yes, this sounds logical to me. The creator of planets and galaxies and universes would love to come down here and let me kill this guy. You see? You see how stupid? I'm saying it like this so you can see how dumb it sounds.
Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. D. Oracle, your favorite psychic medium and metaphysician. And today I'm going to be talking about some aspects of the astral realm that may not work in your favor. They're working in someone else's favor. And so we're going to talk about how that happened with the God Yahweh. Also, we're going to talk about Yahweh meeting Rome and how that whole thing came about and how that works in favor of the way that people acquire wealth and the way that they acquire land. So, I'm glad that you're going to be here with me today. I do want you to make sure that you're paying close attention with how you are using your spiritual currencies of belief and faith, because ultimately that is what these videos are about. They are coming into existence to help you understand exactly how to use that currency for yourself so that you're able to harness and harvest the power of your own spiritual currency, right? This channel is all about metaphysics, magic, hoodoo, the ancestors, and also our mental and spiritual processes. Those are the things which actually help build this reality. And they are even more important than the currency of cash or money. So I'm glad that you've joined me today for this video. We are going to be talking about Yahweh and how the Romans met Yahweh and how that relationship coming together has created this huge following of people who are giving currency, spiritual currency, mental currency to the God Yahweh. And so they're unable to take that currency to produce and process resources to use for themselves. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click on that like and subscribe button. And we're just going to continue on with this video. Make sure that you're able to just kind of absorb some of this information. And I'm not asking you to make a decision about it or to become a follower of mine, but I am asking you to look at this presentation for yourself so that you can understand where you can improve your own life, okay? Using your own abilities, your own spiritual currency, and using the resources that are around you so that you can manifest the life that you want. Here we go. Let's finish up.
Creating everything we see in this room, the divine energy itself is also a frequency that has high frequencies and low frequencies built into it. It's a range. And so God is actually a frequency that you tune into. It's not a him or a he that everybody keep running around with. And I can't stand it when I hear women keep calling God a man. It's already bad enough that we've already subjugated you. You couldn't even walk into a church, first of all. That just happened recently. You can walk into a church. You would be stoned to death if you walked into a temple or a church back in the day. Okay? You just got a little bit of rights recently. You got to vote and things like that. That's not too long ago. And then right away you're indoctrinated into still calling on God as a man, knowing that all life comes from a womb. You know that all life comes from a womb, right? But you still calling this God a man. Doesn't exist, not that way. The creator of a universe is not going to come down from outside of the actual universe, because whoever created this universe lives on the outside of it, not inside of it. The divine energy and the frequency is here, but the creator itself is not in here, or creators, potentially, whoever programmed this code. Inside of here, we are in here. We're fully immersed in it. We have the spark inside of us. We have a choice every single day to do good or do evil. It's up to us. There's no devil whispering in your ear to make you do anything bad. That's the bad thing about religion. It gives you a scapegoat. I can give you a good example. There was a pastor down here at a big mega church, a huge mega church, Calvary Christian Academy in what city is that in? That is in Pompano Beach, I believe, or Fort Lauderdale. Super mega church, right? This guy molests a little girl. The main pastor guy molests this little girl. Now, this little girl will most likely grow up completely traumatized. That's something you just don't get over. And potentially not even wanting to follow the route of Christianity because of what happened to her in the church. Now, let me see where the logic comes in. This pastor that committed this egregious act against this young girl who destroyed her entire life, all he has to do is say, "Oh, Jesus, forgive me for my sins," and he can go live in paradise for all eternity. But if this girl doesn't beg for Jesus' forgiveness and follow that path, she's going to burn in a lake of fire. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Do you see how dumb that actually sounds? It's dumb. And we gotta stop teaching this garbage. At some point, man, for goodness sake, stop it. Please. Recognize the foolishness. Recognize how dumb it makes you sound when you actually speak it out loud. Speak this stuff out loud and say it out loud so you can hear yourself. And you go, man, this is really dumb. How in the hell are we following it?
So, just understanding, first of all, when we look at the way that we are trying to achieve, because it's all about people trying to achieve morality. Let's get this thing straight. Let's get this thing serious. People aren't spreading love. People aren't spreading respect. The main thing about the spread of the religion of Christianity, it was a way for people to say, you have to listen to me. I know that you don't want to, But you need to listen to me, one, because I serve a God who says this is how you do everything right, so that you'll be able to achieve everything that you want inside of this realm or this reality, okay? And another thing that's being passed is saying, as long as I have the confidence, as long as this God put me in control of you, and you're confident in that with me, then you need to listen to everything I'm saying, because everything I'm saying is right, everything I'm saying is moral, everything I'm saying is in line with this particular creator. And so with that being said, we're talking about Yahweh meets the Romans today, and how putting your spiritual currency in something that you don't know or something outside of yourself creates a situation for someone else to flourish because of your support, okay? Because you're the one who's confessing and admitting that this particular higher deity that you cannot see or that you aren't personally connected to, that's who you're putting your confidence in. And then the person, the government, or the people who are basically in charge of the way that resources are being distributed, they're saying, hey, I'm also connected with this deity, so you can trust that I'm going to be moral about things. So just recently I've been telling people as well that humility is better than morality. And what do I mean by saying that? Humility means that you're able to receive confirmation, like you're okay with the fact that someone else can come to different conclusions than you can come to. We don't have to come to the same conclusions for us to get along, okay? But we do have to have the same goals, okay? People in Rome used religion and service to a god or worship, okay, as a way to bring the people on one accord so that they would have less resistance from the public concerning their government and how to rule people. So at this particular time that we're talking about when Rome meets Yahweh, we're talking about an emergence of a partnership to keep resistance down. New ways of thinking and looking at things were being developed, but something that people wanted who were in authority was they wanted a religion that could pretty much unite the people of Rome or the government of Rome with the people who were inside of Israel, Judah, or just that little main area right there in the Middle East that Israelites claimed for themselves, or they tried to claim and take the land for themselves from the Canaanites in that region. Rome actually understood how this civil war had bubbled up, okay? And there were also Jews who wanted to keep their position as high officials, religious officials. And so a lot of the unification that happened with Christianity happened because of those reasons. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is these days that are specifically selected for a reason, they're not just willy-nilly, oh, let's just choose this day and go for it. these days are selected with a significance, and with everyone acknowledging that day, and it creating like a vortex of energy to feed energy into whatever that entity is behind that specific day. And each of these rituals, they have an actual effect in the astral. Like, people perform these things and they're thinking that in the mundane life it has no meaning, but all of that energy is fed into and affects the happenings and goings on in the astral, which in turn affects things here.
Didn't you say something too, like, I think you said something like it's like an energy vortex or something?
Yes, it's an energy vortex. Absolutely.
That's crazy right there. And then, well, the crazy part is not actually that particular day, because that's actually perfect if you want to do like group magic, or really powerful magic, right?
That's what they're doing.
But but the masses of people are ignorant of that. Like, they don't understand. Like, this is the real concept behind that, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if you know the deity that you're worshiping, or that you're giving you this energy or this currency to, and you're very knowledgeable and aware of that, there's nothing wrong with it. Because...
No, you were consenting.
Right. I mean, we could do something like that with like Papa Leva, as long as we know, who it is. But
right.
The when you don't know who it is, it's kind of like, somebody scamming you.
Absolutely. It's deception, and nobody likes to be deceived, even in our day-to-day lives. It's a problem. So yes, the deception is a problem.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, well, me and my family do the Kwanzaa thing now, and
Awesome.
that would be some powerful magic. Like, if every black household, I think, was doing Kwanzaa.
Absolutely, because it's that unified energy with everyone focused on the same outcome. That's where a lot of the power is, and they know this. That's why they do this, but they keep the masses ignorant of exactly what's happening. It is a big magic ritual. It's a big spell, and they have all the ignorant masses participating in it. It doesn't make it any less effective. It is highly effective.
So that means Christians would be participating in that if they go along with this.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Well, that's funny because they always say that, we should just trust in God and not worry about magic. But I tend to find that each religious sect or cult is doing some sort of magic. I do find that, even the Muslims, because they always have their journeys to Mecca, where they go to the Kaaba stone, and everybody runs around it. And what do you think about
Absolutely. that? I think that people are not paying attention or ignorant to what it is that they're actually doing. These pilgrimages to Mecca, the Jews standing in front of that queue, the Wailing Wall, Christians, and even saying their prayers or doing their when they drink the blood and eat the body. And when they're doing their communions, like, these are magic rituals that they are partaking in. And like, you could never tell a Christian that to do some blood magic or a blood sacrifice or whatever, but yet they'll sit there and symbolically consume the blood and the body cannibalism of a crucified deity? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Dee.
That's all right. That's okay.
Did you stop recording?
No, I didn't. I'm continuing to record. They're just gonna have to hear you.
Yeah, because I got a screaming baby I gotta grab.
That's okay. The main.
All of these things are actual rituals, actual spells. You know, is it? I think the word for it is ceremonial magic.
Yes. Which is a very high level form of magic, because when we're doing like little spells, voodoo and hoodoo, that's low level magic because it's not that many people involved in it. But the more people who are giving, spiritual currency, that's meditation, prayer, any type of energy into it. I don't know. I feel like the level of magic just goes up higher. If you have 6 people, if you have 12 people, if you have 24 people, the more people you have, the ritual goes up higher, which makes you be able to manifest it right here very quickly in this realm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Alright, well, I guess that's it. But I wanted to just do like a special Christmas video just to retouch back on that again, because I know a lot of people have already done videos on that, but we want to constantly upgrade our perspective and bring new just a new look, fresh look at it again, to see what we've learned over time and to see how that resonates with the past and what we've already discovered about what people are doing. But this furthermore confirms how we're basically, spiritually speaking, we're involved in systems that the Roman Empire supports, and that they use to actually make pacts with people, to take land, to trick people out of their land.
Exactly.
And when we blindly, follow into religion, we actually give consent for us to be tricked. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, who's gonna stop them? You know what I'm saying? You, but you're not doing that. And if we would partake in our own like African tribal religions, I think we would be doing like some higher level magic in the astral realm, and things, would probably get a little bit better for us.
Absolutely they would. Absolutely they would. And I don't know, I actually did a previous video on reincarnation and how...
So,
okay.
Just explain how you see that ritual of Christmas and how it kind of applies to the belief and the faith, how it props up a being in like the astral realm.
Absolutely. So when we talk about the ritual of Christmas, aka Christ Mass, we first go into what the pine cone symbolizes, because pine cones come from pine trees. And basically, I have this blurb here that the pine cone in third eye symbolism, the name of the pineal gland comes from its pine cone-like shape. It is said that the pine cone was revered by ancient pagan people as the fruit or seed of the evergreen, a symbol which is connected to ideas of eternal life. Remember that, eternal life. It's basically a symbol of the pineal gland in your third eye. Well, when we go into Christ Mass, we know that in the Catholic Church, the Mass is basically, the church teaches that the Mass is a sacrifice, okay? it teaches that the sacramental bread and wine through consecration by an ordained priest become the sacrificial body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ, as the sacrifice on Calvary made truly present once again on the altar. Now, that's a blurb from Wikipedia, just explaining exactly what a Mass is. So when we talk about the Christ and the sacrifice of the Christ, symbolically what we're really talking about is that Christ consciousness and, you know, the sacrifice of that Christ consciousness. So basically, you're doing the sacrifice of your Christ consciousness, which is your divinity within, you know, your third eye, your ability to see beyond. And you're taking that with that pine cone, that pineal gland, and you're basically handing it over to Rome. You're giving them jurisdiction over your Godhead, your divinity. And with that being done, what you're doing is actually giving it over to Yahweh, because who's behind the Roman Catholic Church?
Wow. So that was pretty detailed how the Christmas tree is connected with that. What about the gifts? And is there anything to the food or anything else? Even like, say for instance, like Santa Claus, you know?
Oh yeah. Santa Claus, Saturn Claus, Satan Claus, you know, when we're rearranging the word, what is that called? I forget what it's called, but when you rearrange those letters and it tells the story of what it really is. I'm not too familiar as far as the gifts are concerned, but I say that since Christmas was actually Saturnalia, I say that that's what has that connection there with Santa.
Okay. Because I was thinking about, I thought you said something about it's like giving away gifts. You're sacrificing your abilities.
Your pineal gland. You're giving that pineal gland over to Rome. You know, you're giving your spiritual currency, your gifts. You're giving your gifts to Rome. That was the perception that I had of that.
That's interesting because the your gifts are connected to your pineal gland when you got and then when you I like how you said it's the spiritual currency, because when you're connected in with your spiritual gifts, money doesn't even matter. You can get money anytime. The main thing is that you're able to see farther, and that you're able to see what situations that you need to encounter so that you can be more spiritually evolved or developed or spiritually whole.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people is missing that. So I feel like Christmas is a kind of symbol sort of that. People be going out here buying these gifts, and then it's all like about the food. It's like totally materialistic driven.
Absolutely. And when you talk about like the gifts and it being materialistically driven, you know, that gets into what the gifts symbolize. Just like we were saying how the pineal gland is connected to ideas of eternal life. Eternal life, that has to do with energy and your spiritual currency, you know, and you're basically giving that away in order to fuel someone else.
Right. And I was talking about on the previous videos that y'all have to check out. I'm going to leave the links in the description box and get a playlist going here. But at the end of the day, I talked about faith and belief being a spiritual currency. And if we're constantly giving that away, even more so on particular days, you know, like it's like we making sure that certain days are committed to this. And I'm not saying people are purposely doing that, because I know that a lot of pagan holidays, went on, and some things got mixed with other things, or, everything just kind of, got lumped in together. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't do this no other day, we gonna make sure everybody do it on these days, And that the appointment of those holy days or holidays, those are definitely catering to, at least everyone is giving some sort of their spiritual currency to this being. Even if it's not something that they feel from their heart, but they're doing it because they're just following behind others, Tradition. And we know that tradition is always a part of any type of cult. And people generally fight to keep that up. It becomes really ingrained into society. Hold on.
And we don't want that in here. So you have all these apocryphal texts that were kept out, right? And the Council of Nicaea coordinate and create this hodgepodge of a book based on hand-picked content, curated content that they wanted, that would allow them to still maintain control over the people, over the masses of people. And that's how you get to the canonized book today that the majority of religious people read around the world, right? It's pretty crazy how in the 21st century we're still running around believing in that stuff without doing any research about it, and still believing that there's a magic sky daddy with a magic wand in the sky waving it at you when you want somebody to win your basketball game, and you want to win a war. Military soldiers actually pray to defeat their enemies in war. You think that there's a universal creator that can create universes, is going to come down into this dimension and grant you a magic wish that you would kill another person. And people actually believe this is true. They believe that this is like, yes, this sounds logical to me. The creator of planets and galaxies and universes would love to come down here and let me kill this guy. See? You see how stupid, I'm saying it like this so you can see how dumb it sounds. So you can see how stupid it is. It's stupid. It's just outright dumb. And we keep teaching this to kids, and those kids keep teaching it to their kids and their kids. It's ridiculous. I got this house. The Lord, He do what He do. Won't He do it? He gave me this mansion. Meanwhile, around the corner and down the street, there's a kid, a teenager that's homeless. It's homeless. That could be a much better person than I am. But won't He do it? He is good all the time when it refers to you and something that benefited you. But when things don't go your way, it's the other way. Oh, I let the Satan creep in. Christianity gives you the capability of blaming all the good things that happen on this magic guy with a wand. And I do mean a man. You gotta keep calling him a man. Him, he, him. There is no such thing as a gender of a god. It doesn't exist. The universe is based off of yin and yang, light and dark. The universe is based off of good and evil. It's based off of that scale. And that means that the energy and the frequency that's creating everything we see in this realm, the divine energy itself, is also a frequency that has high frequencies and low frequencies built into it. It's a range. And so God is actually a frequency that you tune into. It's not a him or a he that everybody keep running around with. And I can't stand it when I hear women keep calling God a man.
So you guys, that actual creative potential that comes from the primordial creator, not Yahweh. Yahweh isn't the primordial creator. Yahweh is a being that has been given to you or presented to you first by the Yahwehs. Secondly, that's been combined with Jesus by the Christians. And that religion was supported by Rome. So a lot of what you have being presented to you right now today, you really don't know the roots of. You really don't know anything about. Should you be giving your spiritual currency to this being? Because now we have the Elohis and the Yahwehs merging, El and Yahweh. And now we have the Romans in this current modern day, this current time that we're living in right now. We have the Romans merging Yahweh with Jesus. All of this is being presented to you as a religious philosophy so that you can put your faith and your belief in the government, okay? Really, you should be putting that spiritual currency in yourself. You should be putting faith in yourself. You should be putting belief in yourself so that you can understand what you need to do to manifest exactly what it is that you want. And then this giving praise and giving thanks to a being that you don't even know, to an energy that you don't even know. This is not the primordial creative energy. These are astral beings that have been presented to you with kind of like an agenda in mind, okay? And it's not your agenda, it's their agenda. So you paying homage to the God Yahweh, even to Jesus Christ. If we're going to look at even Jesus Christ as some sort of deity, it should be in respect and regards to the fact that that is you at your highest and greatest potential. No one else. So you can look at this myth, this character, and you can say to yourself, you know, in the heights of my human development, you know, I am going to be able to do things, you know, similar to what's been presented here. So I need to believe in myself. I need to have faith in myself. I need to put those currencies back in myself. You shouldn't be giving your currencies, your hard-working energy that you've exchanged for money or currency. You shouldn't be giving that over to someone. Even in our ancestor traditions, we leave offerings upon the altar. Those things are not money for our spirits. Spirits don't need money, okay? Spirits need a personal relationship with you because they don't want you telling them what to do. Spirits need to exchange some sort of energy with you so that when you ask them for something, they'll have something to consider of why they should say yes, okay? When we're giving our tithes, our 10% over to these clergymen, and some of them are saying, yes, we have to pay the expenses, you know, to rent out this place. This is all just like part of the scheme that supports how the masses are deceived into believing that Yahweh is something that he's not. The primordial creator. No, that's not Yahweh. Okay? You can find out who Yahweh is, but I guarantee you he's not the primordial creator. Okay? So you shouldn't be giving 10% of anything to anyone, and they're not actually helping you to use your spiritual currency wisely. Okay, that's what I do when I give people readings, and I help them through their personal life and spiritually advise them. I'm actually giving them an exchange of energy for their currency that they can actually see unfold or manifest. Whereas if you're going there to a building that you're paying for, they're preaching to you about a being that you don't know that supports their lifestyle, and you're being asked to give over what's in your mind to some sort of foundation that you have no idea where it comes from. I think you need to look at how you're doing things and how it's benefiting you, and where you need to make some checks and some balances. Okay, there. A lot of land has been taken by the Catholic Church, and this is astral currency being used, your faith and your beliefs, to prop up something that can be used to go around the world and say, hey, we're more moral than you are, and our God is more moral than your God. So that's what keeps us in check, and that's what keeps us straight. So give us your money, give us your people, give us your land, and we're going to exchange some other things with you that you might like a little better. But especially, we need you to copy this moral code right here. This is the best moral code for you. And you turn around and you give that currency to them. They are not even following that moral code, okay? I can guarantee it. So, that's the point of this video. Make sure you guys click on that like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content of my channel. But I do want you to take this information and really think about this and understand that you are actually giving away your power to someone else. Thank you for watching.